TIFU by deleting 2 years of data and almost nuked our company $, but Slack saved the day. Closing parenthesis. Hey Reddit, buckle up for a story of epic proportions, involving a colossal screw-up, a heart-stopping panic attack, and a surprisingly smooth recovery, all thanks to the unsung hero, Slack. As the co-founder of a bootstrapped tech startup, I wear many hats. One fateful Tuesday, I donned my database admin hat, tasked with optimizing a script used for local testing. Now, call it sleep deprivation or sheer carelessness. But I completely missed the crucial detail. The script was still configured to access our production database, not the testing one. Cue dramatic music. With a click of the Run button, I unleashed digital Armageddon. 2 years of valuable customer data, the lifeblood of our product generating hundreds of thousands of dollars monthly, vanished into the abyss. The realization hit me like a ton of bricks. My stomach lurched, my palms grew clammy, and visions of angry customers and investor pitchforks danced in my head. Frantic damage control ensued. We scrambled for backups, desperately hoping for a miracle. Thankfully, the data gods smiled upon us. A backup, albeit not the most recent one, existed. But here's the kicker. It was missing the last 23 months of data, a significant chunk representing crucial business insights and user interactions. Panic morphed into a different kind of dread. We braced ourselves for the inevitable customer backlash. And it came. Swift and furious. Our support channels overflowed with messages, confused, frustrated users asking where their data had gone. The pressure mounted, threatening to crush us under the weight of our mistake. But amidst the chaos, a glimmer of hope emerged. Remember how I mentioned wearing many hats? Well, one of them involved setting up automated Slack notifications for every action on our platform, new signups, subscriptions, the whole shebang. This seemingly insignificant detail turned into our lifeline. We realized that these Slack messages contained a treasure trove of data, timestamps, user IDs, and even snippets of actions taken. It wasn't perfect, but it was a digital breadcrumb trail leading back to the lost data. With renewed determination, we upgraded our Slack plan to access the API and embarked on a data reconstruction mission. We wrote scripts, parsed messages, and pieced together the puzzle, bit by bit. It was tedious, yes, but the alternative, a product crippled by data loss, was far worse. And guess what? It worked. Within 2 glorious hours, we had rebuilt the missing data using those very Slack messages. It was 99.99% identical to the original and close enough to restore functionality and appease our anxious customers. TLDR. I accidentally deleted 2 years of production data, but thanks to automated Slack notifications and some quick thinking, we managed to recover most of it within hours, averting a potential company-crushing disaster. This experience taught me a valuable lesson. Even the most seemingly insignificant details can have a major impact. It also highlighted the power of automation and communication tools like Slack. So, remember, folks, daily backups are crucial. Lol. But sometimes, the solution might be hiding in the most unexpected places, waiting to be discovered. Additionally, tiny bootstrapped companies trying to grow and move fast don't always have technical procedures in place, aka move fast and break things. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go hug my Slack notification settings and update them with even more emojis. They deserve it. Edit 1. Not trying to promote Slack. Lessons learned. Auto backup database snapshots daily. And never have a "DB" drop anywhere in your codebase. Edit. To everyone fussing about all data stored in Slack, That's not the case. The data kept in Slack were merely messages about events happening in the system. E.g., user A created a campaign X. This way we could reconstruct the actions a user has taken. It was not 100% back to original state, but it was enough to save the user's time from doing these actions all over again. Also, analytics, critical data, was stored on a different DB cluster and backed up. This experience taught me a valuable lesson. Except you say nothing about backup or a separate, isolated dev and test environment, in which case you have learned little. Proper backup, off-site, offline, multiple copies. Application-aware backup product so you can do DB item level restores if necessary. Separate, isolated environments. Nothing you run in dev or test should be able to affect production as any way. If the configuration points to production, there simply should be no network route out to prod. I thought this was a LinkedIn post for a second. You got a system generating hundreds of thousands of dollars monthly and your only backup is from 3 months ago? How does that even happen? While it is all great, reread this a few months later with detachment and you should see many red flags that should have prevented this. Production and dev test should not cross. It's not a connection string but separate permission, so if this happens the rights are denied. Have production access accounts. Backups? You have $100 Ks of revenue mission critical backups with luckily 3-month-old one? There is no excuse for that with current cloud platforms and ability to set that up without heavy infrastructure. And another thing, Slack is not a logging system. Implement a proper logging system. Back that up as well. Congrats on not cratering. Is having that much data in Slack a security issue? It would behoove you to establish a disaster recovery process and tighten your security. Edit. Missing let. Daily database backups with weekly off-site backups is the bare minimum you should be considering. Wow, this sounds very amateurish at best, and being able to recover your private customer data from Slack. Don't forget the secondary TIFU of storing so much customer data in Slack that it can be used to reconstruct the database. Did Slack write this? Oof. I hope there's only internal data and not customer privacy data being recorded in Slack. If so, this is a dangerous method and can leave the company in a liable spot later. I honestly would not be openly posting about this and attaching it your public profile. This is not a good look. Some of the things said also conflict, but I'm not going to get into that. You do not want this kind of info attached to your identity online. Man, these ads are getting ridiculous. So you have private customer data floating around on a Slack channel? Blink, blink. No reliable backups? Client data sent to your Slack? And people are paying for the service. Not sure I'd be patting myself on the back here. But at least you just identified where your internal IT has failed. Hopefully you take the lessons and start improving your practices. This post is Exhibit A in the trial. Q. Red Foreman. Son, you don't have bad luck. The reason that bad things happen to you is because you're a dumbass. JK, I've done drop user. Cascade before a select from $V instance could have made a diamond if I had a lump of coal up my backside. TIFU by storing enough customer data in my Slack channel that I was somehow able to reconstruct 2 years of customer data in 2 hours. I had something like this on a personal project. I had a database instance run out of disk space. But because of the way MySQL allocates disk space for InnoDB tables, it had plenty of free usable blocks to use for many months. It actually ran out of space almost 2 years before the incident. After a disk crash forced me to rebuild the DB from scratch, I ended up restoring a 2-year-old backup, then replaying HTTP logs against an instance of the app to rebuild all the missing data.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Errorcast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.